Whew. Good morning. Hey, we have just made it to Issaquah, and we are at the East Lake Sammamish Trailhead. We're just off of Northwest Gilman Boulevard here in Issaquah, right by the Cut Loose Caboose. Can't miss it when you come into town. Swing in here, nice parking spot. Trailhead's out behind me. I'm gonna take a couple of minutes here and unload, and then we'll get going. All right, before we get started, we're at the trailhead here in Issaquah. You can see this is where we are, pretty much downtown, and we're gonna go up along the lake, all the way up to Marymore, stop at Post Doc Brewing, and then come back. It's a pretty short ride today, only 11 miles up there. But that'll be a lot of fun. It's such a beautiful, beautiful day. Let's get going. Unlike the last two rides that have been on the, I've forgotten the name of the trail already, Snohomish Valley Trail? No, that's not right, Snoqualmie Valley Trail. This is starting out nicely paved, loving this. And it's going to be a different kind of ride. Not as rural, very suburban, a lot more traffic. We passed under I-90 just a moment ago. This is starting out really nice. Well paved, nice little fence, picket fence along the, well, maybe not picket, rail fence along, trees blocking out some of the less lovely aspects. Issaquah Cedar and Lumber, just to kind of give you an idea where we are as you're riding along. Not that that's particularly lovely. Some people that I talked to earlier picking berries. And our first major intersection requiring us to come to a stop. Can't make out the sign over there. It says wood-fired pizza, Tuscan Stone or something like that. Little food trailer. Might have to check that out on the way back. I'm looking for this. We are stopped at Southeast 56th Street. One of the downsides of riding someplace that's more populous is having to stop at major streets And I forgot to push the button. There we go. You can see signs every so often along the fence here, critical area, wildlife habitat out there. You won't be able to see it, too much foliage. Awful lot of traffic here. I've lived in Washington State since 1966 about or so, and just passing Lake Sammamish State Park. But getting back to what I was saying, I've lived here since about 1966, most of it on this side of the mountains. And I remember coming up here, and this road was very simple 2-lane country road. Oh, no more. It's 5 lanes if you count that center turn lane. A lot more condominiums and various other building projects along the road. You'll see some of them as we pass along, I'm sure. I'm not exactly sure how close to the water we're going to get, but you can see some of the buildings here. I'm sure these are waterfront. Yep. All of these right on the banks of the lake. Starting to climb just a little bit. Nothing steep. There's a breeze today, and in the shade, it's a little bit on the chilly side. Alexander's on the lake. Slow down 15 mile per hour speed limit, it says. There was also a sign back there a little ways saying to the effect, ride, roll, walk responsibly. They left out run, I didn't see that. So that the trail stays open. Washington State and King County have taken COVID very seriously. It was one of the initial outbreaks was in the Seattle area, up in Kirkland, if I remember correctly. In Washington State, the governor has really followed medical advice and clamped down pretty hard. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say pretty hard. I should probably say very hard. It's opened up somewhat on this side of the mountains because people paid more attention. And on my side of the mountains, it has not been. People have been deniers and don't want to follow the guidelines. Even though things are better now than they were, still have people who insist it's not real. Anyway, this trail is nice in that it has benches along the way. And we have come to the end of the paved. Well, didn't expect this. I just got done washing my bike. Now it's going to get all dusty again. Some seriously gorgeous houses along the lake, which is to be expected. Along here, there's quite a bit of loose gravel, although you can see the ruts from people riding. You just need to kind of make sure you're paying attention so you're not getting off into the loose stuff. Used to love sailing. Oh, dang. Miss those days. Earlier I was mentioning that I lived in Washington State since 1966 and been in this part of the state most of the time. And how that road out there was very narrow, 2-lane country road. In those days, Lake Sammamish was pretty far out, and most of the houses on the lake were little summer cottages. You know, the little cabins that most of us are familiar with in some form or another years and years and years ago. And now you see the occasional one in amongst all the mini mansions. And some not so many. Those tiny little cabins that do exist, that probably been in the family for generations, are more than likely worth a lot of money, just for the land underneath it, of course. Yeah, a lot more cross streets, driveways along this section. So you do have to kind of keep your eyes open. Yep, I'm on your left. Thanks. I think I mentioned in one of my other videos how strange it is to come over here, and most of the ride is in the shade, as opposed to where I live, it's in the sun all of the time. It's kind of nice to have. I'm on your left. It's kind of nice to have the change and I'm riding so many trails on this side of the mountains for one very good reason. Soon the rains are going to be upon us here in Western Washington. And I want to get as many of these trails in as I can before the weather goes south. Little cabins I was talking about, of course they're built onto big ones now, but still, need to pay attention to what I'm doing here. A lot of women on bikes today. Gosh, this is so lovely. Such a interesting mishmash of architectural styles. Seen a couple that are Italianate, some Spanish, a lot of modern. Some kind of a little bit rustic, you know, trying to keep that lake cabin feel. Well, let's see, it says we're about 8 miles now. So not much more. This has been a quick ride. Dang. I might have to go beyond my intended. Just hardly burned any calories at all. Oop. Oh, and here we are, back to paved trail. Congested area, reduced speed. Chicken crossing. This is so gorgeous. Do you know how you can tell when your originate supercells need air? The bike starts to wander. When I get to where I'm going, or maybe halfway, I'm gonna have to fill it up a little bit, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just deal with it until I get home. According to Trail Link, we're almost there. Of course, I knew that anyway because it says it's 8.9 miles. Don't know if you've noticed, probably not, but most of the houses along here are long and narrow. To build between the trail and the waterfront, there isn't much room. And the houses go within feet of the water, of the bank. What got you interested in an e-bike? For Joe and myself, it was when we were in Europe, summer of 2018, and there were just a ton of e-bikes. I've since read that e-bikes in Europe account for 20%, not 20%, 50% of all bike sales now. And I saw them there and just wanted to get one. And of course, at that time, I really didn't know anything about e-bikes, their cost, different things. So when I got home, I was checking it out and found out that the ones that I was seeing all over the place were 6 $7,000 and up. Not to say that there aren't some that were less expensive, but that's what I was seeing. And so, not knowing that I really wanted an e-bike, I was not going to spend that kind of money. And so a little research brought me to Rad Power Bikes. And it was fortunate that, nice little landing there, great little landing. Fortunate that they're based in Seattle, and that made it easy for us to go and try them out. And my wife Jo was not really keen on the idea. She couldn't understand why. And then she got on the Rad City step through and took off, and all I could hear her was woohoo! We bought them that day, and I wasn't planning on it. I was just planning on looking, taking a little ride. So I've been enjoying the Rad Rover for over 2 years. But that is not to say that at some point I might want to try out one of the more expensive brands. So many cool bikes out there. All right, speedometer says we're at 11 now, and I thought the trail was going to end at 11. Trail link says we've still got a ways to go. So I'm not sure exactly. We're in Redmond now. To get to Post Doc Brewing, you're going to want to make a left at 65th and oh, there's Mac and Jack's Brewing in here too. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, dead ahead is Mac and Jack's Brewing. Well, that's kind of fun. I didn't know they were even here. I didn't see anything about them. That's in a little business court. They have a sign right out front. And farther on, there's a sign for home brew shop. And you're gonna want to turn, gosh, before you get into Marymore Park, and dead ahead is Post Doc. And they have a nice sign out front. Here for a beer? I think so. Please wait to be seated, even if there is a table open. Stay seated for table service.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, grab beer for here to go.
For here, I don't think I want to drink and drive.
Oh, okay, I understand.
I have a mask in here someplace I'm looking for.
If you don't have one, I can get one for you. Oh, there you go. So go ahead and just go ahead and grab any table you see open.
Okay.
Sit down if you like. I got some tables in the shade around the corner. And then we'll come to your table and take your order for you.
Sounds good. Hi. I think I'd like to try an Alpha Factor, please.
16 ounce or 20 ounce?
16, I think, will be fine.
Yeah. How's it going?
Good. Very good.